Hi guys. So today's video is going to be a list of some of my book review pet peeves. I've made a couple of these videos in the past, but if you haven't seen them, it's basically where I whine and complain for 5 to 10 minutes about stuff that annoys me in book reviews. I'm just gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna start with one that I actually find really funny, but it's also still really annoying. It's when people will bring things into their book review that have nothing to do with the book. A perfect example, and I'm sure most of you have seen these before, would be on Amazon when somebody will say in their book review, they'll say something like, "It arrived damaged." It's funny because it's like, I think they just don't understand, but I'm like, this isn't a review for Amazon, this is a review for that book. The next pet peeve of mine is when people feel the need to let you know in the book review that they're a writer. It's just such a level of pretentiousness because basically it's dismissing people who aren't writers because it's saying, hey, I write, and by I write, I mean sometimes I sit down at my computer and try to get stories across, and I've looked at articles online and maybe listened to a lecture here and there on the internet. If you are legitimately a writer and you do have a lot of knowledge when it comes to the craft of writing, then you're gonna have a good understanding of what makes a book good or bad, and you can use that knowledge when you critique the book. If you have to let people know that you're a writer in order to validate your critique of the book, then your critiques are probably not very good. So my next two book review pet peeves both have to do with not completing a book, DNFing a book. I actually don't mind if somebody reads a good amount of a book and then they still leave a book review, because I think if you've read a large portion of it, you can still pinpoint things that you thought were strengths and weaknesses. However, if you have read only one chapter and you think that that one chapter is a good indication of the rest of the book and you decide to rate the book 1 star, come on. Could you imagine if we did that in real life? If we just met a person, shook their hand, said hello, and we're like, I think you're a terrible person, I don't like you, and I never want to see you again. Then I'm gonna proceed to tell every single person I know that I think that you're awful and that you're a piece of human garbage. That's crazy, that's crazy. You can pick up a book, I've done this. I've picked up a book and read 20 some odd pages and been like, wow, this is not for me. So I get it. I get recognizing right away that a book isn't for you, but you don't go around and tell everybody the book sucked when you've read 3 pages. Because I actually saw a review that said that. It was a negative review for Mistborn. I do these videos called Funny 1-Star Reviews, and they're basically mean tweets for books. It's where I find popular books and series and I read off the really over the top or the really negative reviews for those books. And there was one for Mistborn where somebody said they read 3 pages. 3 pages. And apparently that was enough for them to review the whole book as 1 star. Next book review pet peeve that has to do with DNFing a book is when, this one actually really bugs me. Oh man, it gets me all like, meh. If you didn't finish a book and you say in your book review as proof that you thought the book was garbage, you say something along the lines of, well, this one plot point, like, it didn't make any sense and maybe it gets resolved later, but it didn't get resolved in the amount I read. Ugh. The majority of the time, the thing you're complaining about, it does get resolved later. If you don't want to finish the book because you don't like it, that's fine. But don't start picking on stuff that you were too impatient to look into. It's really not a valid reason to give a book a low rating. The last book review pet peeve for today is when I see, this actually applies to both really good ratings and really negative ratings, is when somebody will write, let's say they write a glowing review. It's just praising the book. This book was amazing. Oh my gosh, this book is so good. And then it's given like 3.5 stars. And the opposite can happen too, where somebody's just trashing on a book. Like they're basically going to the bathroom all over it. Like, this book is awful. I hated this book. All this, and that. Sometimes they're actually giving really legitimate reasons why they thought the book was bad, but then the rating is like 3 stars. Either way, I get kind of a teensy bit annoyed when somebody gives a fantastic review and the rating doesn't match, because I can't help but think, where are the negative things that are bringing this book's rating down? And then same with the negative review. If you're giving a negative review and then the star rating is decent, I'm thinking, where are the positive things that are bringing this up? Anyway, that is it for today of me whining about things that really aren't that important. That said, if you're interested in seeing me talk about other book review pet peeves, I'll have my other videos linked over here. But anyway, let me know what your book review pet peeves are. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.